Many believed he was an outsider who was our only hope to tame the US federal government beast, but it has become very clear he is not. First, WikiLeaks showed that Hillary herself actually approved Trump to be her competitor. According to an email sent from an assistant at the Clinton campaign, Hillary was aware that Trump was going to run before the political process was fully underway. Clinton advised the mainstream media to push his legitimacy as a Pied Piper candidate because she realized, after looking at the poll numbers, that she wouldn't stand a chance at winning the presidency against any of the establishment Republicans without making them Pied Pipers. It just so happened that Donald was the easiest to play the role, considering his long history of friendship with the Clintons. In addition, the mainstream media was more than complicit in creating a narrative that the 2016 presidential elections were about Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump from the get-go. But barely reported in the media was that after the third presidential debate, Clinton and Trump went out for a night on the town together, and where they went is of great interest. They went to an annual Jesuit function, which is usually full of New World Order types. One of the more interesting things that occurred right at the end of the Jubilee year in early October was that the Jesuits installed a new superior general, with the date to commence being actually at midnight on the end of Jubilee. We found this interesting because there is plenty of evidence that the Jesuits are at least one major arm of what you can call the Illuminati. In fact, the Jesuits were founded in Spain by what various reports call crypto-Jews, those who are Jewish but pretending to be Catholic. Certainly at that time in Spain, it was safer not to be a Jew. Even Wikipedia, which wouldn't recognize a conspiracy if it were directly presented by its participants, has this to say about the Jesuits. In the first 30 years of the existence of the Society of Jesus, there were many Jesuit conversos, Catholic convert Jews, including the second father general, Diego Llenas. The original founder, Ignatius, said that he would take it as a special grace from our Lord to come from Jewish lineage. At the beginning of the Al Smith dinner party, after Cardinal Dolan was introduced, a joke was even made by a speaker.
Without the amazing support of the many devoted Catholics on stage. You know, Catholics like Henry Kissinger, Howard Rubinstein.
Henry Kissinger, Howard Rubinstein, and Mort Zuckerman, all of whom are obviously Jewish, so this remark was naturally met with a lot of laughter. In fact, an extraordinary amount of controversy swirls around Jesuits. They are said to constitute the Black Church and thus adhere to the same satanic religion as the world elite bankers supposedly hold. The leader of the Jesuit order is commonly recognized as the Black Pope, whose signature staff is a crooked cross. Historically, the Jesuit order has been seen as one that shirks no crime in expanding the power of the Church. Lest this sound entirely outrageous, one must note that the Jesuits are, for instance, the inventors of concentration camps, which they established in Paraguay in order to incarcerate and then torture the native Indians of the area. But the litany of attributed Jesuit evil is even darker than that, according to those who believe in the order's continued malicious pursuit. The supposed founder of the Bavarian-based Illuminati, Adam Weishaupt, was a Jesuit. In fact, the order is reputed to have been deeply involved in the Illuminati's initial expansion, and chances are it is still deeply involved. One more thing that highlights the evil of the Jesuits is their extreme oath of induction, which all superiors must take in order to be elevated to the higher rungs of the organization. This quote is taken from the book Subterranean Rome by Carlos Didier, translated from the French, and published in New York in 1843, and reads in part, "Promise and declare that I will, when opportunity present, make and wage relentless war, secretly or openly, against all heretics, Protestants, and liberals, as I am directed to do, to extirpate and exterminate them from the face of the whole earth, and that I will spare neither age, sex, or condition, and that I will hang, waste, boil, flay, strangle, and bury alive these infamous heretics, rip up the stomachs and wombs of their women, and crush their infants' heads against the walls, in order to annihilate forever their race. That's when the same cannot be done openly. I will secretly use the poisoned cup, the strangulating cord, the steel of the poniard, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of the person or persons, whatever may be their condition in life, either public or private, as I at any time may be directed to do so by any agent of the Pope or superior of the Brotherhood of the Holy Faith of the Society of Jesus. One of the most poignant quotes regarding the malevolence of the Jesuits comes from Marquis de Lafayette, 1757 to 1834, who was a French statesman and general who served in the American Continental Army under the command of General George Washington during the American Revolutionary War. His quote is as follows: "It is my opinion that if the liberties of this country, the United States of America, are destroyed, it will be by the subtlety of the Roman Catholic Jesuit priests, for they are the most crafty, dangerous enemies to civil and religious liberty. They have instigated most of the wars of Europe." When evaluating Jesuit behavior and influence, please keep in mind that both Donald Trump and Hillary's VP, Tim Kaine, are Jesuit educated. And it should be of great interest, therefore, that practically on the eve of the US election, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton partied the night away at a Jesuit function that included such prominent Jesuit-trained attendees as Henry Kissinger. Not only did the two not look like sworn enemies, they looked like two star-crossed lovers going to their first prom. We have long held to our stance that Hillary will be the next president of the US. The amount of vote rigging, murders, and shenanigans to even get her to where she is so far has been tremendous, and it won't stop. That said, if by some fluke and the Diebold machines malfunction, or people in the US wake up slightly and Donald Trump gets elected, it's pretty clear they are on the same team, and as we've said previously, nothing major will change. So if you were hoping that this election could change things in the US, get over that hope right now. It might change things, but only for the much, much worse. This charade is being played right in front of everyone's eyes, and most don't understand what's happening or why jokes like the Catholic joke is actually funny to these elites. They're laughing at the peasant stupidity and lack of understanding, not because the men mentioned are Jews,